Hi, my name is Alma, and if you're here, you probably have questions about saving energy or making smarter energy choices as a renter. Maybe your electricity bill is higher than it should be. Maybe you're thinking about solar panels, a home battery, or a heat pump. Or maybe you just want to understand what's actually going on with your energy use at home. That's exactly what I'm here for. No complicated jargon, no confusing charts, just clear, practical information that you can actually use. Topics like heat pumps, home batteries, and solar panels. We'll cover all of that in future videos, so make sure you stick around. People say solar power is only for homeowners. That's a myth. If you rent an apartment, you can still build a quiet, safe, tiny power setup without drilling, without a rooftop, and without doomsday vibes. Solar isn't just for homeowners anymore. Renters can build a great setup too. In this video, I'll show you a renter-friendly system using a portable power station and a foldable solar panel, the kind you can place on a balcony or near a bright window. It's about keeping the things that matter most to you powered up during an outage. And here's the part most videos skip: how to size it so it actually covers the things that matter: phone, Wi-Fi, lights, a laptop, even a small fan, without wasting money on the wrong capacity. Simple, low-drama solar that works within your space and your rules. Stay with me, because once you see the simple method, you'll never look at power outages the same way again. If you rent, it's easy to feel like energy freedom is only for homeowners. No roof control, no big installation decisions, no permanent upgrades. So a lot of renters think, I guess I just have to accept high bills and zero backup options. But that's not true. Energy freedom for renters is real. It just looks different. And that's the key idea of this video. This is not about building a perfect off-grid house. It's about creating a smarter, more resilient energy setup within renter limits. In this video, I'll show you the roadmap: how renters can reduce energy waste, prepare for outages, buy smarter, and use practical solar and battery options without turning their home into a complicated project. Let's start with the most important mindset shift. As a renter, your goal is usually not total energy independence. Your goal is lower energy costs, more control, and a backup plan that actually works when you need it. That's already a huge win, and honestly, that goal is more realistic, more affordable, and much easier to build step by step. Most renters can improve their energy situation faster than they think, not by buying everything at once, but by doing 3 things in the right order. 1. Reduce waste. 2. Prioritize what actually matters. 3. Build a simple backup strategy. That order matters because if you skip step 1 and go straight to buying gear, you can easily overspend on the wrong setup. And this happens all the time. People buy a battery that looks impressive, then realize it doesn't match what they actually need. So before we talk about batteries or solar, remember this: the best renter setup is not the biggest setup. It's the one that fits your real life. Your apartment size, your routine, your budget, your landlord situation, your comfort level. That's what makes a setup useful and sustainable. In my ebook, I break this down into a practical renter roadmap with action steps and planning guidance. But in this video, I want to give you the big picture first, so you understand the logic before you spend money. Let me give you a quick example of how this mindset plays out in real life. Imagine 2 renters. Renter A sees a deal on a large portable power station and buys it immediately. It's powerful. It looks great on paper, but it's heavy, takes 10 hours to recharge, and is too big for the one corner of the apartment where it would actually fit. It sits unused. Renter B takes a different approach. They first write down the 3 things they actually need backup power for: phone, Wi-Fi router, and a small fan. Then they find a compact unit that covers exactly those 3 things, fits on a shelf, charges overnight, and is ready when they need it. Renter B uses it every week. It becomes part of their normal routine. Same category of product, completely different outcome. That difference, planning before buying, is the foundation of the renter energy roadmap. It doesn't require a big budget. It doesn't require your landlord's permission. And it doesn't require any permanent changes to your home. It requires a clear head, a short list of priorities, and the right framework. That framework is exactly what I cover in detail in the ebook, with checklists, planning tools, and realistic guidance for different renter situations. In the next part, we'll talk about backup power specifically, what to look for, what to avoid, and how to match a setup to your actual needs without overspending. Stay with me. Let's talk about backup power, the renter version, because this is where a lot of people waste money. They buy based on marketing, or fear, or just-in-case thinking, and they end up with something too small, too big, or just wrong for their actual needs. So here's the smarter approach. Before buying anything, define your backup goal. Ask yourself, what am I trying to protect during an outage? Is it my phone and internet, a laptop and lights, a medical device, a fan, a small fridge for a short period? Different goals require very different setups, and this is exactly why one-size-fits-all advice fails renters. Here's the key principle. Backup power is not just about battery size. It's about the combination of what you run, how long you need it, and whether your system can handle the power draw safely. That's why two people can buy the same power station and have completely different experiences. For one person, it feels amazing. For another, it feels disappointing. The difference is usually planning, not the battery itself. If you're renting, buying smart usually means focusing on these questions. Is it portable enough for my space? Is it simple enough that I'll actually use it? Is it quiet enough for apartment living? Does it cover my priority devices first? Can I expand later if needed? Notice what's not first on the list: maximum power or most expensive model. Bigger is not automatically better. For renters, flexibility and usability are often more valuable than raw capacity. Some of the most common buying mistakes are buying for unrealistic scenarios, ignoring everyday usability, underestimating charging time, and not planning around priority devices. And one more mistake, buying backup gear without first reducing waste, because then you pay extra to power habits you could have fixed for free. Let me make this really concrete. Say you want backup power for your Wi-Fi router and your phone. A typical home router uses between 10 and 20 watts. A phone charger uses around 10 to 20 watts. So together, you're looking at roughly 30 to 40 watts total. A compact power station with 200 to 300 watt-hours of capacity can run that setup for 6 to 10 hours easily. That's not a massive, expensive unit. That's a reasonably priced, portable, shelf-friendly device. And for most urban renters, that combination, phone, internet, and a small lamp, covers the essentials for a standard outage. Now, some renters do have bigger needs. A medical device, a CPAP machine, or a small fridge changes the calculation. That's where the sizing gets more specific, and where rushing into a purchase without the right numbers can cost you. In the ebook, I walk through a step-by-step sizing process so you can match your actual setup to the right capacity, without guessing and without overspending. But the principle stays the same. Define your goal first. Then find the smallest, simplest setup that meets that goal. A portable power station can be a great renter tool, but it works best when it's part of a system. Smart usage, clear priorities, and realistic expectations. In the ebook, I go deeper into the decision process so you can match your setup to your actual life and budget. But for now, let's move to the next part. How renters can use solar in a practical way, plus safety, landlord concerns, and a no-drama setup mindset. Now let's talk about solar for renters in a practical way. When people hear solar, they often imagine a full rooftop installation, but renters usually need a different mindset. For renters, solar is often about flexible support, not permanent infrastructure. That can mean small-scale solar, portable charging options, or hybrid setups that work within your space and your rules. And the goal is not to force a homeowner solution into a renter life. The goal is to build something useful, safe, and realistic. This is where a lot of people get stuck. They think, if I can't do a full installation, there's no point. But there is a middle ground, and the best renter setups usually have one thing in common. They are low drama. Easy to use, easy to move, easy to explain, easy to stop or adjust if needed. That matters not only for your own stress level, but also for landlord relationships and practical living. A no-drama setup is often the setup that survives long enough to actually help you. And let's be clear, safety matters, especially in apartments, shared buildings, and smaller spaces. Any energy setup, battery, charging gear, solar accessories should be treated like a real system, not a toy. That means using equipment correctly, respecting limits, keeping ventilation and placement in mind, and avoiding improvisation that creates risk. You do not need to become an engineer, but you do need a safe, responsible setup mindset. Let me talk about landlord situations for a moment, because this comes up a lot. Most renters assume any solar setup requires landlord approval. And honestly, that depends entirely on what kind of setup you're considering. A fully portable system that sits on a balcony, plugs into a standard outlet, and can be packed up and moved out on moving day. That typically does not require any modifications to the property. It's furniture, essentially. But anything that involves mounting, drilling, running cables through walls, or modifying the electrical system is a different story, and that does require a conversation with your landlord. The good news, most renter-friendly solar setups are designed to avoid exactly that. Knowing the difference between portable and plug-in and permanent and wired is one of the most useful things a renter can understand, because once you know you're in the portable category, a lot of the hesitation disappears. You're not asking permission for a renovation. You're buying a device, and that device, a foldable solar panel combined with a portable power station, can genuinely reduce your reliance on grid power. Phone charging, laptop use, small fans, and lighting are all realistic candidates. So what should renters do first? Here's the simple version. Start small, prioritize essentials, build around your real daily life, test your setup before you actually need it, then improve step by step. That process is how renters build real confidence, without overspending and without chaos. And here's something I want to leave you with. You don't have to do everything at once. Most of the renters who feel genuinely in control of their energy situation didn't get there overnight. They started with one small step, they tested it, they built on it. That's the roadmap. And the ebook gives you the full version of that roadmap, with practical guidance, planning tools, and decision frameworks. So let's recap the renter roadmap from this video. First, energy freedom for renters is real, but it looks different than for homeowners. Second, backup power works best when you define your goal before you buy. Third, practical renter solar is about flexibility, safety, and no-drama setup decisions. If this video got you curious, start with our free guide. Enter your name and email to get immediate access to our free guide, and you'll be on our newsletter list for practical tips and updates. On most pages of that free guide, there's a link at the bottom that takes you to our full library of guides, including the guide I talked about today. We'll be adding more and more guides to the library soon. This channel is for anyone interested in using energy in a smarter way. If you want me to cover a specific topic, drop it in the comments. I try to read every comment. Subscribe and hit like. It helps me keep making more videos for you. See you next time.